Did you know that the rise in chronic disease risk has been linked to increased consumption of processed foods? While modern convenience foods may save us time and effort, they also have a heavy price on our health. In this video, we will explore the negative impacts of processed foods on our bodies and how they can increase the risk of chronic diseases. Not many of us are strangers to the fact that highly processed foods aren't exactly the best for our health. There's a lot of research indicating how these foods can affect our well-being. We're talking about everyday items that are largely manufactured on a large scale, like your prepackaged breakfast cereals, cookies, restyled meat products, quick-fix instant noodles, and sugary soft drinks. What might be less familiar to most people is the link between specific types of these highly processed foods and the possibility of developing numerous health issues, also known as multimorbidities. According to a comprehensive new study, the researchers took a look at the relationship between the intake of highly processed foods and the simultaneous occurrence of 2 or more long-term diseases, such as cancer, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. The results highlighted that heavy consumption of some ultra-processed foods can elevate the risk of getting cancer and cardiometabolic multimorbidity, which is a combination of at least 2 chronic metabolic diseases. However, it's worth noting that not all foods have the same impact. Interestingly, items like bread, cereals, and plant-based products didn't seem to be connected with a higher risk. A vast research initiative looked into data gathered from the European Prospective Investigation into Cancer and Nutrition (EPIC) study. This study involved an impressive group of 266,666 individuals, 60% of whom were females, from 7 different countries across Europe. All the participants in this study were initially free from health problems like cancer, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes at the point when they were brought on board for the study. To get a clear picture of the participants' dietary patterns, researchers applied questionnaires to assess the type and quantity of food and drink they had consumed in the year leading up to the beginning of the study. Fast forward a median of 11.2 years, and it was found that 4,461 participants, 39% of whom were females, had developed a dual occurrence of cancer and cardiometabolic diseases, such as stroke and diabetes. This simultaneous occurrence of illnesses is referred to as multimorbidity. The results indicated a strong correlation between the onset of multimorbidities and the consumption of ultra-processed animal-based products and artificially and sugar-sweetened beverages. Figuring out what exactly defines a potentially harmful processed food can be tricky. The reality is that most of the foods we consume today, unless we're picking them straight from the farm, have undergone some form of processing. Processed foods are not all bad. They can include wholesome items like tofu, simple loaves of bread, canned tuna or beans, and cheese that we regularly enjoy. However, the real worry lies with ultra-processed foods, or UPFs. A measure widely accepted by many food researchers is the ANOVA Index, a brainchild of Carlos Monteiro and his team at São Paulo University in Brazil. Dr. Heinz Freisling, a scientist focusing on nutrition and metabolism for the World Health Organization and also the leading investigator of the new study, gives us some insight into how the index works. NOVA is a system that categorizes food, not based on their nutritional content, but on the level of processing they've been through. It identifies 4 groups: fresh or minimally processed, culinary ingredients, processed, and ultra-processed. Michelle Ruthenstein, a preventative cardiology dietitian at EntirelyNourished.com who didn't participate in the study, defines the last category as foods that are solely produced through a series of industrial processes. But it's also important to note that the level of processing doesn't tell the whole story. The ingredients used also matter. So, there is room for personal judgment on the topic. You wouldn't be able to concoct ultra-processed foods in your home kitchen simply because you wouldn't have the right machinery or the specific ingredients associated with ultra-processing. These ingredients could include elements like artificial sweeteners, food preservatives, and colorants. Let's discuss how consuming many highly processed foods might lead to comorbidities. Processed foods are often full of added sugars, unhealthy fats, and refined carbohydrates, which can lead to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Excessive sugar intake has been linked to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Similarly, consuming too much saturated and trans fats found in highly processed animal-based products can raise the levels of bad cholesterol in our bodies, leading to a higher risk of heart disease. Processed foods often lack essential nutrients like fiber, vitamins, and minerals crucial for maintaining good overall health. This is because, during the ultra-processing stage, many of these beneficial components are removed or destroyed. Moreover, the additives used in ultra-processed foods, such as sodium and artificial sweeteners, have also been linked to health issues like high blood pressure and weight gain. It's worth noting that the study doesn't prove causation between highly processed foods and comorbidities but rather highlights a strong correlation. However, it's safe to say that limiting consumption of these foods and opting for more whole, minimally processed options can greatly improve our overall health and reduce the risk of developing chronic diseases. Have you ever wondered about the effects of heavily processed food on your body? Those ultra-processed food items may not be as harmless as they seem. They can actually have quite a significant impact on your overall health. So, what's the deal with ultra-processed foods and their effects on our bodies? Latest studies have discovered a connection between the intake of ultra-processed food and numerous health issues such as heart disease and cancer. Some other studies went further to liken ultra-processed foods to addictive substances. They say that these foods only make folks yearn for more. Recent findings emphasize a distinct correlation between ultra-processed foods derived from animals, artificial sweeteners, and an increased risk of multiple health complications. These include obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. Although more research is needed to fully understand the effects of ultra-processed foods on our bodies, it's clear that they can have a negative impact on our health. Consuming these foods regularly increases the risk of developing chronic diseases, as shown in the study discussed earlier. One reason is that many essential nutrients and fiber are stripped away during the manufacturing process. This means that we are consuming empty calories with little nutritional value. Additionally, ultra-processed foods often contain high levels of unhealthy fats, added sugars, and sodium, all contributing to poor health outcomes. Furthermore, these foods are designed to be addictive, as they stimulate the reward centers in our brains and make us crave more. This can lead to overeating and weight gain, which is a major risk factor for many chronic diseases. That's a wrap. We hope you liked the video. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative content.